City boy, city boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do a Friday Night SmackDown review. And what has happened, man? What has happened to this thing that I once loved called professional wrestling? What has happened to the company of the WWE, man? Let me tell you, while watching this show, I had to, this is probably the first, because I've always kind of known it. It's always been there in my head. But I just genuinely had to sit there last night during John Cena's promo and just come to the realization, come to grips with the term for real, that this show is just genuinely fundamentally different than the show that I watched growing up. These are no longer characters in the ring that are pro wrestlers in the ring that are playing characters. These are now regular people playing pro wrestler. That's it. These are no longer pro wrestlers playing a character in the ring. These are now people playing pro wrestlers. Not even characters, just pro wrestlers. And there's zero effort put in from a creative standpoint to genuinely make things exciting, to make things make sense, to make things something that people want to care about. This show is just different now. They really genuinely think, Triple H genuinely thinks that he can treat this show as if it's, UFC, right? As if it's 1FC, as if it's the PFL or some shit like that. Bare knuckle fighting champions, right? He genuinely thinks that he can just treat it like that. John Cena could come out there and just discuss 20 years of all that he's been through, break kayfabe as many times as he wants. The biggest baby face in the history of the company, outside of, Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan. Just talking about how scared he is of being forgotten, how scared he is of. This isn't what I want to see when I come on and I want to watch and I watch John Cena. I just want to hear John Cena say that he's here to whip some ass, right? That's what I want to hear. I don't care about. I'm not one of these fucking simps out here claiming that vulnerability is what makes a man a man. I'm not, no. That's not what makes a man a man. You might be a woman if you get too vulnerable, my nigga. If you get too vulnerable, somebody's gonna come and get that ass now. Stop playing. I'm not of the school of thought that men have to be these emotional creatures that have to share their emotions and all this. This is just cringe-inducing. Watching John Cena, this fucking behemoth of a human being, talk about being afraid of a bunch of marks, forgetting that he exists. And I know that this isn't John Cena saying this. This is whatever storyline that Triple H is cooking. Because John Cena has already said on multiple occasions outside of the WWE that this is not what he doesn't care. He cares about the WWE, but this is not what he was born to do, right? John Cena has said it multiple. This is not what I was born to do. So whatever happens with the WWE is going to happen. Things are going to move on. Time's going to move on. None of this matters. It's all insignificant. That's John Cena's mentality on this whole thing. So it's already, when you know that and you're taking that into context, it's already could you at least try to make it believable? Because this is Triple H's psyche right here. That's why Triple H is all over the product. That's why Triple H is all over everything. This is not John Cena talking. Or this is Triple H speaking through John Cena, I should say. Triple H is afraid that once he's gone, once he's out of the company, once he's no longer being in a creative position, and now that he's out of the ring full time, whatever, he thinks that the people are going to forget about him. And you know what, Triple H? We will. Let me take my glasses off for this one. I gotta take my glasses off for this one. We will. Triple H. You will always be remembered as the B guy. There's the A guy and there's the B guy. You will always be remembered as the B guy. You'll be spoken of in the conversations that involve guys like Randy Orton, that involve guys like Kevin Nash. You'll be spoken of in conversations that involve guys like fucking, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody else who's just not on that. Miz. You'll be thought of as on the same level as a Miz. Even with all the championships that you've won, all that you've done throughout your career, you were never the guy that people wanted to see. So yes, Triple H, you will be forgotten. But that's okay. That is okay. Just because you will be forgotten and you know that you will be forgotten does not mean that you have to then ruin and destroy this product. Put your face all over it. Because that's what this show is. It's just a Triple H nutsuck event every single week. How can we suck the nuts of Triple H a little bit more this time this week? How can we make this show about Triple H as much as possible? And then Triple H's psyche just bleeds out into the show as it does, as it will. When you're a writer, because I'm a writer as well. Not a published writer or anything like that. I just like to write stories and stuff like that for my family and for myself and things like that. When you're a writer, what you'll notice very quickly is that you can only make people as smart as you are. So if you want to create a smart character, you have to become smarter in whatever it is that you're trying to portray. You have to genuinely do that. You have to do research. You have to do this, that, and the other. And certain things that are in your mind, you will write down. You will write them down. You know, if there's a woman that you're thinking about, a beautiful woman that's on your mind, you might write her into a story. Not on purpose necessarily, but it's going to come out. You come up with a female character, then suddenly when you're trying to come up with a description for the character, suddenly the description sounds something like the girl that you fuck with, the girl that you like, right? This is something that happens with a lot of writers, especially amateur writers, right? Amateur writers like myself. I'm a bit better than, now, obviously I've been writing for a long time, but amateur writers like myself, like, you're bound to have more of have a reading experience where you're more reading into this person's psyche than you are reading into a full world of an imagination. Like if you were reading like what's his name? R.R. Tolkien book, right? If you're reading a Tolkien book, then you can see that his imagination stretched way further than most people's, right? And that goes with the best authors of all time. The Stephen Kings, the Tolkiens, the J.K. Rowlings, right? Like these people, right? The Dean Koontz, the Walter Dean Myers, these kinds of guys. Their imagination stretches further than the average person, so they're able to, kind of put that down on paper. But not Triple H. Not Triple H. Triple H, he wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to his writing. He pushes the women that he wants to push. All right. He likes two types of women. He likes some blonde and busty, and he likes some thick and gothic. I shouldn't even say thick, just buff, right? Buff and gothic. All right. With lots of chains and tassels and whips and all that. That's why all the women dress like how they dress, because they have to be chained up, whipped up, tasseled up in order to, actually get TV time, actually get screen time. We're just watching Triple H's psyche on display. I know this is supposed to be a review, but I'm like, we got to break down this right now, because I had to come to this realization last night that I'm just not watching the same show that I used to watch. Because at the very least, I was watching Vince McMahon's psyche out onto the screen, and so you were able to understand what Vince McMahon's psyche was all about. Vince McMahon, he was all about the laugh. He was all about making people feel things, and you could tell that no matter which segment it was trying to evoke an emotion from the audience. He was trying to elicit an emotion from the audience in whatever segment that it was that he was putting on, whatever match it was, whatever it was. He was trying to elicit an emotion from the audience. But these days, it seems like Triple H, he doesn't care about necessarily eliciting emotions from the audience. What he wants is everyone going to cheer? Is everyone going to say that this is an awesome match? Is everyone going to say that Triple H is cooking? That's what I want. I want people to call me Papa H. I want people to say that Triple H is cooking. I want people to say that I'm the greatest booker of all time. That's all Triple H cares about. He doesn't care about actually entertaining people. We can do a quick rundown of the show. I just wanted to really get all this off my chest. But because this show was it was genuinely awful last night. The reason why this review is coming so damn late is because I fell asleep right after the show was over. Right after the show, I forced myself to stay awake throughout the show. And then right after the show was over, I couldn't do it. I was like, fuck it. I'm not recording this evening. I'll record it in the morning and we'll ship it out. You know what I mean? Like an Amazon delivery package. Prime same day delivery in this hoe. You know? So, first segment, man. We start off with John Cena in the ring, where he's just, doing babyface John Cena things. He's sucking off the crowd, He says the audience is the show and all this stuff, and he's almost like giving advice to everyone else in the back, like, oh, what do you do when the audience is all over and they're singing in there and they're just enjoying themselves? He's like, you let them, you let them take over the show. Basically, what do you do when the audience starts to take over the show? You let them, because the audience is the show, basically, is what John Cena was saying. And this is not true. Maybe at a house show, right? Because this is a house show speech that we're getting right now. Maybe at a house show, that would be just fine. Let the audience take over the show because it's a house show. But when you're filming for television, when you're filming for live TV, the show should be structured as such. And you cannot allow the audience to take over the show. You just can't. This is a show that first of all, it's a TV show, which means that it lives off of whatever its storyline is, whatever its A and B plots are. That is what makes a television show, thrive, obviously. But once again, Triple H's psyche here. He's saying that he doesn't care necessarily about, making the people at home feel some kind of way. What he's booking for, and he's admitting this through John Cena's promo, that he is booking for the audience in the crowd, as opposed to the audience at home. The ones who are paying for the Netflix, for the Peacock, for the ESPN, for the cable, Cox, Comcast, Dish, DirecTV, whatever it is that you watch this shit on. He doesn't make this product for us. He makes the product for the people in the crowd that evening. And that's fine, I guess. Just lets you know that the show isn't for you. So maybe, just maybe, we should just stop watching it altogether. Because this show isn't made for us. That's what they're saying. The show is not for us. This is basically just a live house show. That's all the fuck these shows are. All right. But then John Cena moves on to say that he's scared and he's afraid, right? He's afraid of Brock Lesnar. He's afraid of being forgotten. He's afraid that after 20 years of a career, giving his all to the company, that people will just forget about him. All right. But he says just because he's afraid doesn't mean he doesn't, he's ever going to back down from a fight. He says Brock Lesnar has a John Cena problem. He says everyone in the locker room has a John Cena problem. Anybody can get it, Anybody can have a match, basically, is what he's saying, right? So he's getting ready to leave after he says that, he kind of gives an open challenge. Logan Paul comes out. And Logan Paul, as I said, Logan Paul is right. Logan Paul is supposed to be the heel here, and John Cena is supposed to be the babyface here, obviously. But Logan Paul is correct in everything that he said. He said John Cena is a liar. He called him an outright liar. Said that he was faking the funk. He said he doesn't like, because Canada was booing the fuck out of Logan, saying "fuck you, Logan" and all this stuff, right? And Logan Paul is like, "What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all, Montreal? I mean, I'm not the one who switched up. Logan Paul never switched up, and this is facts. John Cena is a liar, based off of his own promo of what he said on Friday. Said he was acting like someone that he knew that he wasn't, which means in turn that he was a liar. He was lying the entire time that he was heel. He was lying. He was lying to people about how he felt. He was lying to people about what his motivations were. He was lying. That's what he was doing. John Cena is not, he's known for a lot of things, but John Cena is not known for lying. But now John Cena, because of Triple H, he has to be considered a liar. A liar. Logan Paul is completely correct here. Logan Paul is basically the babyface in this feud right here, right? But yeah, Logan Paul, like I said, he comes out, he calls him a liar and all this stuff. He says that he wants a match with him since he's giving out matches and stuff like that. But he doesn't want just a regular match. He wants a match, not tonight, at Clash in Paris. All right, the crowd starts booing because obviously, like, why would you have Logan Paul come out here and do all this, say all this, talking about he wants to have a match in a French-speaking country, and he ain't talking about Canada, right? Everybody knew he wasn't, and the crowd went very lukewarm when John Cena made the match official, because what ends up happening is Logan Paul, while he's talking shit about how it would be box office if it was him and John Cena in Paris, and then Drew McIntyre, for whatever reason, Drew McIntyre is still hanging on to Logan Paul's nuts at this point. Drew McIntyre comes out, he attacks John Cena from behind. Logan and Drew, they end up beating him down. We hear Cody's music. John Cena then no sells. He like immediately gets up and runs over to the corner, basically. Cody Rhodes comes down. They brawl, because of course they do. Cena and Cody, they kind of come out on top of the brawl. That's when John Cena grabs the mic and says, "All right, Logan Paul and John Cena at Clash of Paris, I accept. But it seems like you boys want to fight. And it seems like I have a tag team partner." And Cody Rhodes just does his look. He's like, oh, tag team partner, what? And John Cena basically tells them, like, yo, I am, gonna get in contact with Nick Aldis or whatever the case is, and we're gonna have a match tonight. It's gonna be Cena and Cody versus Logan and Drew McIntyre tonight in the main event. All right, so I was actually, I put that over. I really did put that over, because I was like, all right, well, at least we're going to get somewhat of a match. We'll see. Most likely, John Cena is not going to do much of anything in this match. Probably have like 2.5 seconds, pull out 3 or 4 or his 5 moves of doom, and that's probably going to be it. But we'll see, right? We'll see what happens, because I can't complain. If we're going to have the main eventers on the show and they're going to be wrestling, I'm not going to complain about that. Could it have been set up better, in my opinion? Sure. Right? Sure, it could have, but I'm not going to complain, because at least we're going to be able to see John Cena in a match on free TV. That's something we don't see that often anymore. So thank you, John Cena. Right? Thank you, John Cena. John Cena reminded us in this promo that there's only 11 of these appearances left. So I hope that he makes them all count, and I hope that Triple H does what he can to make them all count. But we know how this stuff gets booked. So next up, we get a Motor City Machine Guns interview where they say they're banged up from their TLC match, but they have a match, I guess, coming up next with the MFTs, Solo's MFTs, which we got to talk about. This is such a dumbass name. Are they called the MFTs? Are they called the My Family Tree? Are they called Solo's My Family Tree? Why wouldn't they be called the FTs if they're just Solo's Family Tree, right? They could be called the SFTs, the Solo's Family Tree, or they can all just be called My Family Tree. That's what they could all just be called. But instead, everyone keeps saying these are Solo's MFTs. Every time Solo brings them up, he's like, "These are my MFTs. These are my MFTs." So these guys, their group name is My Family Tree. Triple H is retarded. All right, we don't care about this interview. We move on to the match between the Motor City Machine Guns versus the MFTs. Nobody cared about this. I hardly even watched this match. Like, I was literally thinking about life or some other shit like that. And then out of nowhere, I just see Tala Tonga lifting up, I don't know who it is, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. I don't know which one is which, and I don't care which one is which. But he's picking up one of them for that long, tall-ass fucking choke slam and yeets him down, and they end up picking up the victory. After the match, Solo Sakoa, he picks up the mic, says that he's he's in his gear. He wants to fight. It is what it is. He's ready to go right now. He's feeling good. But since it's not going to happen, he's going to get the hell out of here. And he's going to move on with his life because he doesn't want to be in Canada anymore. Out comes Nick Aldis for whatever reason. And he says, hold on there, Solo Sakoa. You say you want a match. And guess what? Montreal, I'm sure they want to see you in a match. And I have a special guest here this evening who wants a match. Out comes Sami Zayn from Monday Night Raw. Yay. I had to see him on Monday, and now we have to see him on Saturday or on Friday. Yay. Sami Zayn comes out, and nobody cares about this match that just came up. Basically what happens is that Solo ends up getting rolled up by Sami Zayn. With all the distractions in the world from the MFTs and all that stuff going on, Solo still ends up getting pinned by Sami Zayn, making Solo look even more like a joke than he already does. How do you not make Solo look like a joke? Because if you're going to have Solo get rolled up, then it's obvious that they're going to move on with this feud, that Sami Zayn is most likely going to fight for the US Championship, maybe at Clash in Paris. It's a possibility. And if they were going to do this and they were going to have Solo lose or whatever the case is, right? They could have done it better. They could have protected Sammy. They could have protected Solo, and they could have made them both look good. This is how you do it. I came up with this shit on the fly last night. All right. This is how you do it. Nick Aldis or Solo Sakoa, same thing, right? He says that he wants to fight, but since it's not going to happen, he doesn't want it to happen in Canada or whatever. Nick Aldis comes out, says, I have a fight for you. Brings out Sami Zayn. Solo picks up the mic, says, No, I'm not fighting him. I don't want to fight him. All right. I don't see him as a viable threat for my championship. Right. And then when Sami Zayn comes down to the ring, he has a mic. He's like, what do you mean? I'm not viable, this, that, and the other. As soon as he hops in the ring, he gets jumped. They jump the shit out of Sami Zayn. They jump the absolute shit out of Sami Zayn. All this security and stuff, they come out and they break it up and all that good stuff. Then later on in the night, maybe like a segment and a half later or whatever, we go backstage to see Sami Zayn. He's getting bandaged up, right? He's been bandaged up before, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, but whatever. We're acting like this is a new timeline. So he's getting bandaged up, and Nick Aldis comes back and he's like, look, man, I wanted to see how you felt about this, but, I still have a slot open for tonight for an extra match. And if you wanted to have that match with Solo Sakoa, I'll ban the MFTs from ringside and I'll let you guys have your one-on-one match. And if you win, that puts you in a certain conversation, right? So let me know. And Sammy obviously is like, yeah, I want that match. Just give me, like you said, give me just a couple minutes. I'm finished getting bandaged up and I'll be good to go, right? I'll get some electrolytes in me and I'll be good to go. And then boom, now we can have this match where Sami Zayn is at a disadvantage and Solo Sakoa is at an advantage. But at the very least, if you have Sami Zayn roll up Solo Sakoa in this instance, at the very least, it's more of a surprise. There's less, it's just more of a surprise. And it actually makes Sami Zayn look a little stronger, right? And it actually kind of protects Solo Sakoa a bit, because if, depending on how it's booked, if it comes literally genuinely out of nowhere, the roll-up that we're talking about here, then it makes Solo Sakoa look strong. But Solo Sakoa wins, then it makes Solo Sakoa look strong. It protects Sami Zayn from, looking weak, getting in there and just getting his ass whooped. They had to jump him earlier in order for Solo Sakoa to win. Whatever, all this protects Sami Zayn. It adds to Solo's character, adds to Sami's character. But these are just little things. But these are things that are not thought about, right? We're just gonna have Sami Zayn roll up the champion, and then maybe this will, turn into a feud. We get a match that turns into another match. That's how it always happens in this regime, in this Triple H era. I hate it. I hate it to death. We move on to the Wyatt 6. They get a little vignette where they say absolutely nothing. It's time to dead this whole thing. It's over with. It's done. Just nip it in the bud. Release them right now. Give the titles back to the Street Profits, and let's just move on. This group is horrible. This group is absolutely awful. I have nothing else to say about it. After this, we get the Street Profits backstage with DIY. Nothing happens in this segment. I think they're going to be in a match next week or something like that, or Nick Aldis comes in, says that he's going to, get this tag team division under control or whatever. Like, I don't understand this, man. I don't understand this. Why does Nick Aldis want to get quote unquote control of the tag team champion? What is Nick Aldis even doing? Why are the suits faces? That's what I'm trying to figure out, really, is why are the suits faces? Why are the suits not aiding the heels? Why are the suits the authority figures? Why are they good guys? It's because Triple H wants you to see him as a good guy. He's a suit now. So now that he's a suit, he wants you to know that in his heart of hearts, in his mind, he sees that suits, the managers, the authority figures, they're actually good now. They're good. They're nice. They help the good guys, right? So it really makes you want to root for the heels even more, because not only are the heels getting fucked by the baby faces normally, right? The heels are also getting fucked by the establishment. Literally, you're getting fucked by the establishment. This is going to turn more people towards the heels as opposed to the baby faces, because what happens? The baby faces, they're always getting, favors and opportunities and stuff like that from the general managers. And that puts them at an advantage over pretty much all the heels. But whatever. All right, we move on to the worst segment of all time. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, they're out in the ring, right? Charlotte Flair is basically just trying to throw like a little birthday party. She gets her a cake that says, "Congratulations, Charlotte," and then very small letters at the bottom, it says, "Plus Alexa," and she hands her some dolls. She has the Sister Abigail doll, and then she came out with another doll, and this is a Charlotte Flair branded doll, I guess, right? They're both wearing the "We're Not Friends" merch, and they're going to be selling this as an ad, as they're going to be selling these things as merch, right? Like they're really going to be doing this shit. So, oh my goodness. And the whole segment basically was building up to Charlotte Flair basically saying that Alexa Bliss was allowed to hug her. All right. And Montreal, Canada, they did not care. Neither did I. Nobody could possibly care about this. Oh, well, Montreal wants to see it. We want to see it. All right. Everybody at home wants to see it. You can hug the queen. Nobody cares about this, man. And this segment took up like 10 minutes. This was a long ass drawn out segment, and it was so awkward and so choppy and awkwardly paced that the crowd, like, they genuinely did not know what to do. They had no idea what to do. And then the greatest thing in the world happens. The Secret Service, Chelsea Green and them, they interrupt. And I'm sitting here like, thank God. Thank you. Somebody interrupt this now. Okay. But they interrupt. Charlotte, she wants a match because she's upset that they interrupted the birthday celebration. Nick Aldis comes out with a referee with a damn a birthday gift ribbon on him, right? And he says that he's gifting Alexa a referee so that way Charlotte can beat up Chelsea Green. This is what I'm saying. This is what I was just talking about. Why is Nick Aldis helping out the baby faces? Why is it Nick Aldis? And then where the fuck was the birthday ribbon at? Like, where'd you get that from? Did you just grab a referee, slap a birthday ribbon on him and say, come out to the front? Like, these are also things that you have to think about. But whatever, okay? After that, we got Mello and Miz. They're backstage. Mello is basically just talking shit to the Miz, saying like, hey, yo, you left for like 2 months. You just show back up. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm headed to get myself a United States Championship match. Like, I don't even fuck with you like that no more. And Miz is like, yeah, you deserve better than that, right? But that's why I went to Nick Aldis and I got us a tag team match. So are we good? And Carmelo's like, all right, we're good. And that's it. The Miz can just disappear for 2 months and nothing. They just come right back together because of a bullshit tag team match. When Carmelo Hayes was just talking about getting a United States tag team match, or a United States championship match. So that made no sense. We move on to the match that was just set up from Nick Aldis, and that's between Charlotte Flair and Chelsea Green. This match was really a nothing burger. How it ended was Chelsea Green was going for an unprettier on the cake that Charlotte got for Alexa. Charlotte ended up reversing it and countered it into her own unprettier and right into the cake. And then Charlotte puts her in the figure 8. Match is over. We move on. Tiffany Stratton, she's getting interviewed. She says that she's going to keep on defending the championship. Jade interrupts, basically says that she got lucky. Then after Tiffany walks away, Kiana James, I should say, and Julia, they interrupt. Kiana James basically just gives Jade her card, her business card, says, if you're ever serious about getting to that championship, give me a call. Like, what has Kiana James done? Like, what do you mean, give me a call? We have not seen Kiana James do anything, broker any deals, none of that. Like, nothing. We've seen her do nothing yet. So this is misplaced. This is out of place, right? But yeah, she hands her the card, and then Mi Chin comes up with her kendo stick out of nowhere and says, oh, do you want that card? Jade's like, nah, you can have it. She's like, good. I'm trying to get me a title match here soon. Mi Chin, just put the fries in the bag, baby girl. Put the fries in the bag and come on home to daddy. Put the fries in the bag, baby girl. Just come on home to daddy. We don't need you out here getting embarrassed on live TV anymore. All right, baby girl. Just come on home, Nate the Great. You know, I'll take care of you. All right, I'll take care of you on my measly maintenance man salary. I'll take care of you, baby girl. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Just because this is just embarrassing. Why the fuck is Mi Chin in this segment? Why is she out here scouting and begging and waiting on a motherfucking a title opportunity from Kiana James of all people? Whatever, man. After that, we got Aleister Black getting his own little vignette where he's talking shit about how he whooped Damian Priest's ass. Nobody cares about this. Aleister Black he kind of looks like an art teacher. You know what I mean? Like either an art teacher or that one like physics teacher. You know what I'm saying? That one physics teacher that's like really fucking cool. Maybe even an English teacher. He doesn't look like a threat at all in these vignettes that he cuts. Not even slightly. It doesn't matter if you have him kicking people and knocking people out as a part of the vignette. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I could have told you this whenever the fuck Aleister Black was trying to become something, right? This isn't going to work. Aleister Black is not that guy. So let's move on to John Cena. He's walking backstage. He pulls up on R-Truth. And this could have been a great segment. This could have been a great segment had it happened naturally, had it happened not haphazardly. Because John Cena and R-Truth, they run into each other. They look each other up and down. They have that little mirror moment where one guy puts his hands up while the other guy puts his hands up, and then they put the other hand up and they're looking at each other. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh. And then R-Truth just looks at John Cena and is like, you back? Well, if you're back, then I'm back. That means that we're back. And since we're back, we're good, right? Like, we're good. Like, and then John Cena, he does this thing where he tries to like say like, oh man, like, well, what did you do? Like, you were mean for like 5 months, and you were going around and you were beating people up with like your championship, and you just turned into a completely different guy, man. Like, did you really think that you were gonna get away with that, right? And John Cena, he just walks away while R-Truth has this dumbass look on his face. Funny look, you know. I popped during the segment, right? Like, I thought it was a good segment, but it was just done so haphazardly, and it makes no sense because John Cena is basically wearing the same shit that he's been wearing. Right? Like, it would be different if John Cena, the entire time that he was a heel, he was wearing all blacked out merch, right? The black jorts, black shoes, black hats, right? Like, if he was wearing all black, and then he comes out this week and he's colorful and now in contrast, right? R-Truth is now in all black or the black and white, because he had the wife beater on, right? And he had the black hat, now we're having a mirror moment, like where John Cena, he's looking at who he turned R-Truth into, because really nothing ever happened. They just dropped this whole R-Truth thing, this whole R-Truth angle. Instead of getting R-Truth to be the guy to have, John Cena turn babyface again and see the error of his ways, R-Truth was just off to the side. And then now that John Cena's back babyface, R-Truth is once again an off to the side ass guy who cut his hair off for no reason at all. Don't tell me that Triple H is a fucking long-term booker. Why did R-Truth cut off his hair? Just because? Just because? For not even 4 weeks, like 3 weeks later, John Cena can turn back babyface, and then R-Truth turns back babyface after being off TV for those last 3 weeks as well? Like, come on now. This shit is just getting embarrassing at this point, right? But then we move on, right? We have our main event, which was Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre versus Cody and John Cena. And I would just like to state for the record that Cody Rhodes has not spoken a single word this evening. The champion, right? The WWE champion has not spoken a single word throughout the entire time of this episode. This match went pretty much as you would expect it to. Cody Rhodes was the guy, getting the heat, building up the heat, I should say, for John Cena to come in, right? So that lasted for most of the match, and then at about 3 minutes before the show ends, that's when they finally let John Cena in. He hits his 5 moves of doom. He's about to pick up the win over Logan Paul. Then Drew McIntyre comes in and saves the whole scramble. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't even remember who won this match. Like I said, I went to sleep right after the show was over, and I didn't even write notes into this. But I do, so I'll be doing the rest of this stuff from memory. I'm pretty sure that Cody and Cena won. They either won or it was a DQ. All right, it was one of those two. They either won or it was a DQ. But at the end of the match, the last thing that Montreal ever gets to see of John Cena live in action is John Cena running away from Logan Paul while John Cena's getting his ass whipped. That's the last thing that we get to see from John Cena in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. On the other side of the ring, after John Cena runs out of there while getting his ass whooped, we see Cody Rhodes, and he's kind of having like this moment with Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre, he's like beating up on Cody Rhodes, and he grabs the title. He has the title, and they're outside the ring. And Drew McIntyre, he's looking at the title, and he's like, and they're trying to tell the story, like, oh, Drew McIntyre, he's been going through it so much these last couple of years. The title has always been eluding him, and it's always something. If it ain't one thing, it's another, right? And it's made Drew McIntyre snap. And you can kind of see that in Drew McIntyre's face. Drew McIntyre, he looks like he done fucking snapped. He looks like he's about to go off in this motherfucker. And he ends up Claymore kicking Cody Rhodes' head through the announce table, like through like the bottom, like the side, the front half of the front side of the announce table. He Claymore kicks Cody right through there. And then the show pretty much just goes off the air with Drew McIntyre talking a little bit of shit to Cody Rhodes. And that was that. So looks like Cody is going to be in a feud with Drew McIntyre. I'm not upset at this, but I am upset at this because I know Drew McIntyre is going to lose. It's not like they're going to have Cody lose the title this fast. And Drew McIntyre is just a jobber, right? That's what Drew McIntyre is. That's why he's playing second fiddle to Logan Paul, who is also, at this point, a 50-50 jobber, right? It is what it is, man. This entire show, it was nothing. The only thing that really meant anything in the show was the beginning of the show and the end of the show. Everything else was ass, garbage, filler, whatever, what have you, okay? I give the show a 2 out of 10. This is definitely one of the worst episodes of all time, but not the worst, okay? So let me know what y'all thought of the show down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. This has been your boy, Nate the Great, back with another one. Yeah. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Yeah.